Hi everyone, my name is Kevin. Today I want to show you how you can make your iPhone battery last longer. I always hate when I absolutely need my phone for something and it just turns out that the battery is getting a little lower. I'm going to show you how to prevent that. So the first tip that I'm going to share, and this is probably the most obvious, but let's say that you absolutely need your phone for some occasion and you don't want your battery to run out before then and you won't have a chance to charge your phone. Well, probably the easiest thing you can do is just turn off your phone. If you turn off your phone, you're not going to be consuming your battery. Okay, well that one was pretty obvious, but I have some better ones coming up. The next thing that you can do is if you swipe from the bottom on your iPhone, what this does is it brings up this control thing in the top left where you see a few different icons. This green one is your cell signal. If I hit that, it'll turn it off. Now let's say you're going into an area that doesn't have good cell phone coverage. Turn that off and that way you won't continue searching for a signal. What you could also do is there's an icon for Bluetooth. That's the blue one on the screen. If you're not connecting any Bluetooth devices to your phone, turn that off and that way it won't search for any available Bluetooth signals. And lastly, this other one is the Wi-Fi signal. If you're not using Wi-Fi on your phone, turn that off as well. Leaving all of those on consumes a little bit of power. They also have that airplane icon, you could turn that on. Now the best example I like to think of is if you ever didn't turn on airplane mode on a plane, you'll notice that your phone battery is pretty low by the end of the flight. That's because your phone was searching for a signal that whole time. And so by turning these on or off, you can basically tell your phone whether to search for a signal. That's another good way to conserve your battery. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to jump into settings on the iPhone and I'm going to click into an option that says battery. And so we're going to click into battery. One thing that you'll notice in here is there's something called low power mode. And so what low power mode does is it stops different background activities, it stops mail fetch and these other activities that consume some of your battery. So by enabling that, that'll also help you save your battery. Now another thing to also call out with your phone, I know in the past they had some battery types where you basically want to run the battery all the way down and do a full charge. It turns out with lithium batteries that the iPhone has, you don't need to do that. So don't run your phone battery all the way down to zero because that's not good for the battery. It could be damaging. So, get it down. Maybe if you're using your phone and you're at 40 or maybe 50%, feel free to charge it up. Now, another way to also save on your battery, so we're going to go back to settings. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to click on the option that says sounds. And so when your phone rings, you might have vibrate turned on. Vibrate also consumes a lot of battery. And so what you could do is you could turn off vibrate on ring and also vibrate on silent. And that way your phone won't vibrate. And that also helps you save a little more battery. One of the easiest ways to save on your battery is to turn down the brightness. So here if I go back to the main screen and you swipe from the bottom, you'll see this brightness setting right here. So the lower the brightness, the less battery you consume. The higher the brightness, the more battery you consume. So if you want to save your battery, turn that brightness down. Now another thing that you probably also want to do is you might have a lot of apps open on your iPhone. And so what you could do is you could jump into this view. I double tapped on the home button and I could see all the apps that are open right here. And so some of those apps might be running in the background. Maybe you have a map program open with GPS in the background and so that's consuming some of your battery. To see where your battery goes, I'm going to jump into settings and we're going to go back here. There's an option called battery. I'm going to click in the battery. What we'll see in battery is I can see all the different apps on my phone and how much of the battery they consume. So here I can see YouTube used up 24% of my battery. And if I click on show activity, what I could see is it was because I was playing YouTube for 38 minutes and that also consumed my battery. So this way you can be aware of what apps are using your battery and then close those apps if you don't need them. Here I see my mail was on in the background. Now another simple way to keep your battery or to basically keep your battery lasting longer is if you're making a phone call, keep it short. The longer your phone calls are, the more of your battery that you're going to use. Now another thing that you could do too, this is in settings, you could turn off your cellular data. So there's an option here called cellular. So I'm going to click on that and you could turn off the cellular data. So that way it's not going to be transmitting any data. You'll simply use it for voice calls and that's another way to conserve some of your battery. The iPhone includes this nice thing where you have a background and as you move your phone up and down, the background moves. Of course, to do that, it requires some battery. So another way to save on your battery is always use a still background and that way you reduce the processing demands on your phone just a little bit more. Hey, and so those are all my different recommendations that I had on how to get your iPhone battery to last longer. If you found these helpful, please give this a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this in the future, please hit that subscribe button. And if there are any other topics that you want me to cover in the future, anything else that you're trying to learn about, leave a comment down below and I'll add it to my list of videos to create in the future. And hey, that's all I had today. I'll see you next time. Bye.